I had the idea of Sendjoy when I wanted to send something fun to my mom last year because I was in Singapore, she's in KL. I wanted to tell her Happy Mother's Day, so I thought of getting her a video greeting from her favorite TV actress. Turns out the whole process was very uncomfortable, very confusing. Consumers really don't have an easy way to reach out to the creators that they like. It's just a very doubtful feeling.
Sendjoy was launched by Singapore's first BAFTA-winning producer Loh Se-eun and former manager of business development, product and corporate marketing at MM2 Entertainment, Lim Liang Chun. Both of them met through a casual conversation in the MM2 pantry, which they will share more in just a bit. I was really impressed by how Sendjoy had grown from 20 Sendjoyers, celebrities and talents who can be engaged for personalized greeting videos to over 200. They include local celebrities Gurmit Singh and Nat Ho. I booked a birthday video for my dad with Hossein Leong and a not-so-PG video by a musician for a best friend's birthday. Now let's deep dive into the passion economy, access to content creation, changing talent and consumer behavior, and fun questions with two founders. Hi everyone, welcome back to Quest Ventures podcast and video. Today I'm very excited to be interviewing Sendjoy. So tell us more about yourself.
Hi, I'm LC. I'm the co-founder CEO of Sendjoy.
Hi, I'm Se-eun. I'm also the co-founder of Sendjoy.
Okay, to kickstart, right, I really want to know tell us more about your founding story.
So our founding story. So the year is 2020. The world was experiencing this, never seen before pandemic. It was a very epic setting, and so I'm Malaysian, so I'm stuck in Singapore. I can't go home to see my mom, and I wanted to surprise her with a video greeting from her favorite TV actress from Singapore. I don't know why I had that idea, but I really just wanted to surprise her. So I wrote to the TV actress, and I realized that the whole process was actually kind of difficult and uncomfortable. And so I spoke to Se-eun about it, and she said, actually, there's really no easy way for consumers to reach out to the people that they see on TV or they see on social media easily. The best way is to DM them and hope for the best. And I thought that can't be the best strategy. So we decided to build a platform to help people connect with the people that they like.
And both of y'all met in MM2, is that right?
Yeah, so we were colleagues.
I see. MM2. And how do you find that your skill sets are very complementary? Because one of you is a bit more on the business and you did management role, yeah. And you're more on the creative side and you did production for short films. And how do you guys find each other and decided that, okay, this is a great team to do?
So I remember one day, Elsie, we were sitting in the pantry of the company, and then Elsie asked me, what do you do as a producer? So I said, at the time I was raising this 50,000 for a short film. And then I told him, basically I find a team, I work with the director, I work with the scriptwriter to develop the story, then I bring this script out to look for funding.
Yep.
And then I manage the whole production process, and then I will market the film when it's completed. So he said, you sound like you're an entrepreneur. So I'm like, really? I'm an entrepreneur. So I didn't know that what I was doing was entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So then Elsie just told me to read out a bunch of entrepreneurial books. Yeah, so I read about the Airbnbs and Uber story. And that got me interested in entrepreneurship. Yeah.
I see. And my next question is for you, Se-eun. So in a previous interview, you talked about democratizing film production and the toolkits for content production. So how did your extensive career in film production lead to Sendjoy?
Yeah, so I was observing what's happening around us and the new types of content that were coming out. So back when I started in filmmaking, that was 2005, when I was a 15-year-old secondary student.
15-year-old and you started filmmaking. Yeah. What was I doing?
Yeah, so we were actually using videotapes. And it was such a painful process. Then I went to university, we were still using videotapes, and then we were using even 16mm film to do things like that. Was just almost 10 years ago. But in this recent 5 years, we see how things are, how easy it is to shoot films with like our iPhone and even DSLR. So I realized that okay, wow, like technology is really helping people to like make films more easily. Yeah, back then when I went to film school, people go to film school wanting to be like Tarantino, Wong Kar-wai.
Yes.
Yeah, but right now, people go to film school, they want to be the best YouTuber out there, or like they want to learn how to make a good TikTok video. So like the world has really changed, and I think I want to be part of this like movement. So that's why I'm constantly looking out for new content formats. Yeah.
Correct, and I think what is beautiful about this changing landscape, right, like you briefly touched on also, is that now it's more accessible to anybody, even with very basic fundamental content production knowledge. Anybody can, whip up their cell phone, and also maybe because people are more empowered with more advanced technology.
Yep.
Easy, very no-brainer toolkits. The phones are getting better so that anybody can just whip out and produce something that looks professional.
Yeah.
And that's why you can have so many Sendjoyers out there who can easily make content from home, whether or not they went to film school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always say that I think filmmaking is the new essay writing. So I really encourage like young people today to learn how to make something in a video format.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the technology is like makes it more accessible with to make videos, but I think the creativity cannot be replaced. Like the storytelling and like writing a good piece of content that cannot be replaced. It's still like human work there.
So how do the Sendjoyers come up with content ideas? Do you assist them in their journey, or it's free play for them?
I think we see it as a co-creation process.
Yeah.
So it's really an interplay between the consumers and the creators, in this case the Sendjoyers. And so we actually think a lot about like how to help consumers express better. With a simple form, we allow them to think of an occasion, write a simple brief, add some photos, just so they feel confident that this will lead to a very interesting product at the end. And the Sendjoyers, they also constantly think about, okay, how do I leverage my creativity to create something really special for the recipient?
Okay, so speaking of Sendjoy, do you have a favorite Sendjoy on the platform right now? Or a dream Sendjoy that you really hope to have on the platform one day?
So my favorite Sendjoyer is, so there's a singer-songwriter from Malaysia. So we kind of found her by accident. So our intern just reached out to her, and when she joined us, I didn't think too much about her. But then when she got booked for the first time, she wrote this really beautiful song.
She wrote a whole song for a request.
Yeah.
What? That's so much effort.
Yeah.
For every request, she writes a new song.
Yeah.
That's so much effort.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the first song she created was an anti-Valentine song. And so the guy wanted to give a shout out to like this Libra girl that probably turned her down or something, but she wrote a song about it, and it was a really catchy song. And she really showed me that Sendjoy could be a very, very creative medium for whatever occasion. So I haven't really booked her yet myself. I'm waiting for the right moment. But yeah, so she's my favorite right now. She's on my list.
Awesome. How about you?
If we talk about dream Sendjoyers, I think I would love to get like famous directors on the platform someday, because like Christopher Nolan or like Martin Scorsese, I think they are the celebrities for the celebrities.
Yes. Great. And if you were to book them one day, right, what would you want them to say or produce?
I think it is to like encourage like people in the industry, because like we know how hard it is to like get a shot, and like it's about perseverance. And I feel that like listening from them, or like having a personal video message from them would encourage someone so much.
I see. So it's more for like your fellow filmmakers and producers.
Yes.
I think that would be very inspiring.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, it's quite common knowledge that Asia culture is a bit more suppressed. People are not as expressive, and I think you mentioned that in the Quest Ventures Day video as well, right? Yeah. So how did you find that? Okay, maybe these short videos could be a way of a medium for expression of someone's emotion instead of other forms of mediums like in an essay or like an Instagram post. Why did you settle on doing videos?
So I think that's a very good question, because we're Asians, clearly. So we know how awkward it is to actually say, I love you, or I miss you, or I'm thinking about you, especially to the people close to you.
Yeah.
So when I had the idea to send my mom a video greeting, I just kind of thought it was going to be epic because A, she would never expect that. And B, like, this person, this actress, is trained to actually express like ideas for other people, right? On behalf of other people. And so I thought this could be a good fit. And so we also noticed that people are getting more comfortable with short video content. So even like a 15-second video can really like inspire people, make people laugh, make people cry. And so we're like, okay, this is a pretty cool format to start innovating with. So we actually think of every Sendjoy video as like a greeting card. So that's how we go about it.
Yeah. And sometimes it can even be more meaningful and impactful than a physical gift.
Yeah, because I think video is a very dynamic content. So I write letters. I like to write letters, but like in a letter, you can't like convey like the visual elements. You can't. It like the whole format is pretty stiff in a sense, pretty rigid. But in a video, like depending on the length, depending on the momentum, like you can add a lot of different elements into a video. And I think we see that a lot with like our Sendjoy videos as well. Our Sendjoyers really take advantage of like the sound, the movements, the editing to create like a very creative product.
I see. And so one of the common trends besides the whole democratization of content, right, is that your platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube empower your everyday person to become the next big personality. And nowadays, I think a lot of the attention from your Hollywood stars and actresses have been shifted towards all these everyday at-home influencers or content creators. Now, do you see the same sort of consumer behavior or the same sort of human behavior in Sendjoy as a platform also, that like, you know, anybody can also be a big personality in the future?
Actually, I want to ask you, what do you think?
What do I think? I'm a bit. I'm still deciding whether, you know, Sendjoy is a platform where people already have to be, you know, someone famous outside the platform, or whether they can have their big break in Sendjoy as a platform. I'm still a bit, you know, divided on that.
I think there are about 10% or like 5 to 10% of people on the platform don't actually have an account elsewhere. Like they're not on Facebook, they're not on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
So they wanted to use Sendjoy as a test bed.
Yeah. So we have like a magician who doesn't have any like social media. Like the one that you book for your friend.
Oh yeah.
He's only on Sendjoy.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
yes. So he's like so I think we provided the tools for him to be able to like perform.
To digitize his performance.
Correct. And they're really passionate about their craft, and now they can reach more people with this.
Yeah. Correct. And even Elsie, he discovered his talent on Sendjoy. so he offers like this Chinese poetry writing service. And since he started it, like a lot of people book for their mums on Mother's Day.
Oh wow!
I'm like their mum whisperer.
Oh, so the auntie killers, but over poems.
Yes, because so a lot of Singaporean young people, they claim that they speak Chinese, but they don't really speak Chinese that fluently, but they still want to use Chinese to express like something to their moms. So I offered this service, they found out, and they're like, hey, this is my mom's thing, can you turn it into a poem?
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
It was actually quite accidental. Like previously he was doing it for his friends.
Yeah.
And like basically he takes your Chinese name and he writes a poem around the name.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's very creative.
Yeah. So that's something that we want to see more, definitely. Of course, like, you know, on Sendjoy, people offer their creativity as a service, they offer their influence as a service. And whether you're established or not, it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you can make the recipient feel special, just do whatever you think is needed.
I think it's really cool how, you know, Sendjoy is not just a platform where it's just for influential people and celebrities, but you're also tapping on people's expertise and the craft that they produce, and then you empower them with the toolkit and also streamline the whole process and giving people the access. And I think that is very empowering.
Yeah, thank you. Because we really I think we take note of like how creativity happens.
Yes.
I think it's also because of our own background, like we're from the creative industry, so we always think about like what makes people feel something.
Yes.
Right. And it's so you often forget that celebrities are also creators. Like they didn't one day just wake up and become celebrities.
And
right?
yeah, the fame came after the
Yes,
craft.
it's a result. It's not really
Yes.
like what drove them to get into like this industry in the beginning
Yes.
anyway. So that's why we want to go back to the root of it.
I see.
Yeah.
And also, like, we really listen to the feedback from the users, like the creators on the platform. Like, sometimes they told us, "Oh, I can't get much from the message. I really want to know who the recipient is. Like, tell me more." So,
Wow, so they're really
Yeah.
very into it.
correct. So we actually added the function where they can add photos of the recipients and they can write like what's interesting about the recipient. So yeah, those things came about in the product because of the feedback from these creators. Yeah.
And I really love how it really gets very, very personal. So when I booked it for, I think it was my father's birthday, and I could write down like things about him, like where he worked there, or you know, he's a bit troubled because he's affected by the aviation industry. And I love how it was really nicely weaved in into the video also. So it really feels like the Sendjoy is speaking to my dad.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so my next question is, I was reading about how the top earning writer on your paid newsletter platform Substack earns more than $500,000 a year from reader subscriptions. You know, the top content creator on Podia, a platform for video courses and digital memberships, makes more than $100,000 a month. And, you know, content creation has always been coined not just as a gig economy, but instead a passion economy where creative products and services are monetized with the interaction between the creator and the consumer directly, not just with the platform. And I think this is intriguing because, you know, gig economy limits the capacity to scale without increasing man hours, but passion economy scales from fan loyalty and the audience base with the benefit of, you know, ongoing revenue instead of like one-time pay per gig. So what are your thoughts on this coin term called passion economy, especially in the context of Sendjoy? And how does Sendjoy empower people to be part of it and maybe even have this as a side hustle or a side gig?
So that's a great question. And I love the term passion economy because it really encapsulates the spirit of it. Because like I said just now, I think a lot of our Sendjoyers started like sending joy way before they joined Sendjoy, right? Our pitch to them is we want you to professionalize what you already love doing.
Okay.
Right? Like don't make it, because to be frank, like when I reached out to the actress, I really wanted her service, right? I didn't want her to feel like I'm a creep or something like that. Like I really wanted to engage her properly, right? But there wasn't like a proper channel for me to do that. And so now we tell our Sendjoyers the same thing. Like try to professionalize your fan services, your creativity services, and because your audience is like global.
Yep.
And they found you through social media. They probably want to book you through social media. So we try to create a more social media friendly environment where they can like add the Sendjoy like profile URL everywhere. So that's the kind of environment that we're creating for our Sendjoyers. But to answer your question about like what we want to do for the passion economy, well, first of all, if you have a unique talent, like if you're like me, you like to write Chinese poems and you don't know like how to offer this service, of course, join Sendjoy. You know, immediately you make yourself bookable. So that's one. And more importantly, 80%, and this is really interesting because 80% of our bookings are actually meant for someone else.
Oh, okay.
So people, well, the majority of visitors who come to our website, they're looking for something for their loved ones, their friends and family. They're not here to get something for themselves. And so as the creator economy, as the passion economy grows, I think there will be a group of people who may not be the direct fans of all these creators or all these Sendjoyers, but they want to get something, like employ their service for like the people that they care about. So I think that's the interesting part about the business, because we're actually serving the quote unquote non-fans, right?
Yes.
But in the maybe through the process, like they learn to appreciate like the Sendjoy's craft and talent, and maybe they become fans of their work. So that's also one way to grow your fan base, I think.
I see, and it's also the personal interaction that you have through Sendjoy, on like say YouTube and all that. You're reaching out to the masses, but there's not much one-to-one connection. So I think how all these content creators really build advocates, right, is through this high-touch interaction.
Yes.
But do you foresee Sendjoy as it scales, right, to be a potential stream of income for these Sendjoyers?
Absolutely. I think Sendjoy itself can be a native like format. Like some people are just really good at like making video greeting cards, right? I think there will be a group of them who do this full-time professionally. I think there will be a group of them, maybe kind of like me. I don't mind offering my service, but I probably won't become a full-time poet, right? I don't think that's my career, but I don't mind doing it. Like on a weekend, I don't mind writing 2 poems for people. I like it when people send me like photos of their moms being so happy with a poem.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so meaningful.
And I'm like, I think there's a social component to like the Sendjoy experience, and I don't want people to forget about it.
And also now the creators, they have many streams of income. Like, so we hope to be one of their streams of income, like something that they can do whenever like they have time.
I see. Okay. More about the business itself, right? How many Sendjoyers do you have now?
So currently we have about 250 Sendjoyers, mostly from Asian countries. So Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. Very exciting pool. And from different verticals as well. So we have Sendjoyers who can sing, who can dance, who can paint, who are just cute like the pets.
Oh yes, I watched the dog's video. Super cute. And how in the world do you, in one short year, how do you get 250 Sendjoyers? Or like, for the dogs, like where in the world do you find so many cute dogs? And your celebrities as well.
Yeah, so it was a lot of grinding in the beginning. So at first we just got our friends on board, like those people who like just heard like our one-liner pitch and like, okay, I'll help you. They don't even know what they're getting into. So when we first started, we only had like 6 people on the platform. Then two of them are us, because we wanted to make it like a sample so that they can see. So from then on, like we have other people help in the industry, like from like agencies, and like for example the pets some of them came from the Wolf agency, and also we work with SGAG and like TCP, a few different agencies, and so that really helped to kickstart the process. Yes.
And what were your initial impressions of Sendjoy as a platform, and did that change over the course of 1 year?
I think initially they definitely were quite confused, because it's a very new engagement format, and they probably thought like, oh, am I just going to say happy birthday and that's it? I'm like, you can do more. Like, since you already whip out your camera, you should just say more. So I think there's a lot of education that happens like in the very beginning. But I think once you get the ball rolling, you get the first Sendjoy video and you start sharing that with like the Sendjoyers. They see it, they understand it, and then they can start asking their friends like, hey, this is really cool gig. Do you want to try it out? Right.
And I think the platform evolved a little bit with them, because our very first pitch was like, okay, make a 30-second happy birthday shout out video, or like something to encourage someone who's going through a tough time. But the first video that came in was like 5 minutes long.
Wow.
So then other creators saw that format, and then the videos became like longer and longer. So our record one was like 9 minutes.
Wow, so what was within the 9 minutes? Was it like a performance or something?
So someone requested for this singer to sing one song, like any song. He ended up making a medley, so he sang like 11 songs.
Oh my gosh, I really love how the Sendjoyers really go above and beyond their initial scope of work.
Yes.
I see. And but did So I from my understanding, it's not just the people that coming in that are evolving, but also maybe how you streamline the process and how you modify the platform such that it gets easier and easier to become more personal and also easily understandable from both parties along the way.
Yes. So there's this dream feature that I really want to include in the booking form, which is like, so one of the key challenges that we have is sometimes we don't know how to pronounce the name.
Oh yes.
So this dream feature, I'm telling my CTO about this. I want them to be able to record like the pronunciation of the name.
I see. So the Sendjoy can just
Can play the voice clip and like, this is how you say that name.
Yeah, because actually one Sendjoy requested for it. Like it was for a Chinese customer, and he doesn't know how to read the name in Chinese, so he asked the customer to record, and then so he can listen and say the name correctly.
And I think this is especially important because it's not a US market; it's an Asian market. You have 10 big languages in this region itself. How in the world do you pronounce everything?
And it's kind of cute when you see the Sendjoyers trying to speak in another language, like maybe one or two lines. You can. Okay, so one of the key words that our customers always use, when they give us their feedback is they love the sincerity. Like they feel like, wow, they really just tried their best. Even if the pronunciation is completely off, you feel like, okay, they tried their best.
Yes.
So, there was actually one customer who requested me to read out a message in Chinese. And so
how did that turn out?
So he actually came to our office, and then he got Elsie's help with the Chinese message. So he asked Elsie to read out one line, and then he repeats that line. So the video was that.
Wow, there's so much effort.
He came down to the office just to finish that video.
Wow, these are like your busy people.
Yes.
So within your team, right? To make Sendjoy a success, are they more media people, tech people, business people, or a mix of everything?
I think the answer is a mix of everything. I think Sendjoy is a very multidisciplinary startup because, of course, we have a tech team trying to build the product out, make sure it's a smooth UX. But at the same time, we have a team of people reaching out to potential Sendjoyers. So they're probably very good at sales, business development. But at the same time, you have people who are very good at marketing because this is a very new product. A lot of market education is needed. And how do you scale that up? How do you use social media? How do you use... we have all these Sendjoyers joining us and they can't wait to be booked. And so how do you work with them, engage them to tell their followers that they're on Sendjoy? I think that's very important.
Okay, so in summary, we're coming towards the end of the interview. Is Sendjoy a fan-centric or a talent-centric platform? Or is there a better word to describe it?
So, I always think about this. Well, initially I always thought about this, but then as we went on, we realized that we're kind of neither. We are more recipient-centric because I said, 80% of our bookings are meant for someone else.
Yes.
So how that someone else feels is very important, right? Whether the video makes them cry, makes them laugh, how do you make it happen? Do they want to see a familiar face? Do they want to experience a unique talent? We think a lot about that, right? So a lot of our UX design is from that perspective. How would the recipient feel? Will this Sendjoy be able to send joy to this recipient?
All right.
So yeah.
Awesome. And what's next for Sendjoy?
We definitely want to go beyond Singapore. So for the past year, we've been consolidating our business in Singapore. We work with Singapore talent, with the Singapore consumers. But I think now we're ready to take our model to different parts of Asia, especially. So there's Malaysia, there's Hong Kong, there's Taiwan, very exciting markets. They have a very vibrant creator scene as well. Can't wait to get them on board as Sendjoyers.
Awesome. And before this journey, right, how did the Startup SG incubation with IMDA Pixel and Quest Ventures help you along the way?
Yeah, so they were really helpful in like providing us an office space and also connecting us with people in the industry.
Right upstairs here today, yes.
Yes, like the different players in the creative industry, and also James gave very good feedback as well, like for our startup. So we meet up with him like twice bi-weekly in the very beginning, and he gave very good mentorship.
So one of the best pieces of advice that he gave us was quite early on, and because Singapore is a pretty small market, so very quickly we ran out of quote-unquote famous people to invite. So we spoke to him about it, and he just casually dropped this on us. He said, why don't you think about how to make your buyers your sellers?
Okay.
So that really sparked a lot of like discussions between us, because we kept thinking it was famous people on one side and people who want to engage famous people.
In like buckets.
Yes. But we're like, maybe it's not two buckets, it's a pool. And how do you like manage that pool of creativity?
Like an exchange, but like an ecosystem where you can be a buy one day and sell the next day.
And we're like, that really helped us rethink like what Sendjoy really means to people.
I did not think of that.
Yeah.
Even the Sendjoyers, they can also book Sendjoy videos themselves.
Of course.
Yeah, so we actually got some of them to try out, and to
as a user.
As a user.
They get to discover like other Sendjoyers as well. So it's more of an ecosystem approach, I would say.
I see.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good advice. But what advice would each of you give to young entrepreneurs out there?
Do you want to start?
Like for me, I think recently LCU mentioned this thing like about having a relationship with the unknown. Yeah, I think entrepreneurship is really about like the unknown, because you can read all the books out there, you can like see how other people have done it, but when you're in it yourself, it's like still a very scary process. So I think like we all need to have like a good relationship with the unknown, like be willing to try, be willing to be uncomfortable. Yeah.
I would say don't forget what makes you magical. I know it sounds really like fluff, but I think everyone has certain skills, certain experiences that really make them unique. And I think I really understand this more and more as I work on Sendjoy, because you look at all the Sendjoyers, the successful ones are the ones who really channel like their uniqueness, their creativity to make something one of a kind. And I think as entrepreneurs, like every company is going to be one of a kind. And so you really have to remember and strengthen what makes you magical. And sometimes it takes a while to discover that, but once you discover that, you should really hang on to it.
I see.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. Where can people find out more about you guys and Sendjoy?
They can head over to our website, sendjoynow.com, and they can connect with us on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you guys for watching. I think today was really insightful. Finding out more about Sendjoy beyond just checking out your website and, as a user, but speaking to you guys and going deep on the media landscape, the content creation landscape, and also the consumer behaviors of your buyers and Sendjoyers on the platforms. Yeah. Thank you so much for all your time today. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Vanessa.
Bye. Awesome. I'm Vanessa, and thank you for listening. This podcast is produced by Quest Ventures, top venture capital fund in Asia, in collaboration with Pixel, the innovation hub of Infocom Media Development Authority. Follow us for more exciting episodes to come, and stay in touch with us or find out more about Quest Ventures investment syndicates at questventures.com. Till next time.